All right, I'm here with the 2010 No-Gi World Champion, Justin Rader, Professor Rader. And how long have you been working out here?
You know, I've been working out here for nearly a year now, Luke, and it's been a really great experience.
Very cool. So he's been here for, like you said, about a year now, and this is hands down with Professor Rader and Professor Lovato, or Master Lovato, should I say, is the two hardest working guys I've ever been around. They're the most dedicated to the sport. They're dedicated to their craft. They're just, the intensity that they bring in here day in and day out is rubbed off on all the other athletes. And I think what I want to know is just kind of where you get your mindset from, where you bring that, where you find that intensity, and where you get that passion, that desire to keep competing at this level.
Yeah, you know, my whole life, my father got me started martial arts training about 4.5, 5 years old. I started off wrestling and taekwondo, and he had me often, you know, coming up through the years, always competing, you know, week in and week out. He started me Brazilian jiu-jitsu under Professor Rafael Lovato Jr. At 12 years old, I started training there at Lovato's School of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. At 12 years old, I now still currently train there, and I wrestled all the way through high school, always competing, always pushing myself to that next level. And then, you know, as far as competition goes and my mindset going into those, you know, I've been through many. You know, when I was a real little kid and I started, I was very conservative, shy. I'm really not an outgoing person for the most part. And, you know, in a lot of ways, you know, I've been there, and I know what it's like to feel that pressure to perform, to feel that pressure not only from yourself, you know, and wanting to do well, but also from the expectations of your parents, your family, your friends, your coaches. And it can be a real, you know, detriment to some people. It can really hold them back depending on their personality. For me, it was huge. It was something that took me years and years and years to get over. I finally started, you know, wrestling in middle school under my wrestling coach, Coach Andy Howington, out here at Deer Creek Edmond High School. And he was one of the first ones that really started to work not only on my technique, and he showed me so much, but on my mindset as far as competing goes. You know, I was always, again, like I said, too worried about everything going on around me, the environment, my opponent, the expectations placed on me by everybody, not wanting to let people down. And it always, you know, burned so much energy. It took so much out of me when I was going to compete. You know, so I know what that's like, and I know what it's like to be there, to have a difficulty believing in yourself and getting yourself focused to that level to really perform. And so he started working with me a lot. He had a lot of, he really, you know, was a big, huge positive influence in my life. And I continued working. I was with him for 7 years, and I'm still with him today. I often go back. I help coach those kids out at Deer Creek Edmond High School in wrestling. And then I started again Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when I was 12 under Rafael Lovato out here in Oklahoma. And, you know, again, just the same as I was doing half years. I was wrestling. The other half I was doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And, again, still competing, still working on this mindset, you know. And I went really, honestly, from one end of the spectrum to the other. I used to compete and feel all that pressure. Then I just, you know, at one point when I really started having more success, I really stopped caring about a lot of that. And that was kind of where I was. And it just went deeper and deeper that I even took it, you know, so far to the next level that, you know, I really didn't care about anything when I would go out there. And again, I had started having a lot more success. But, you know, there were still times where maybe it was, you know, an overconfidence kind of thing, or, you know, I really went through this time where all that I really, you know, my main fuel was just, you know, I really hated that pressure and that person that I used to compete as before, and I used that to fuel me every single time, and it just burned inside of me, and I would just unleash that when I would go out and compete. And, you know, I did really, really well, you know, doing that, but it was always like, you know, with me and around me, and this burden I was having to carry. Exactly, yeah. Draining. And you know, I was going too fast. I was, you know, gonna burn myself out. And, you know, so continuing to come up through, mature. I used to, you know, get in, you know, almost taunting matches with crowds, you know, that kind of thing. That's the kind of fighter I was. And so continuing to grow up, mature even more. I finally I call it just, you know, when I'm getting ready for a competition, you know, I just do all the right things, and I believe in that. I believe in myself. I believe in my coaches. I believe in, you know, the work that I put in and day out, and I call it centering myself as far as competition is concerned. So in the weeks and months to come, let's say I'm 6-8 weeks out, I know the competition is there, I'm working hard, and that's all I'm focused on. I'm not worried about the tournament. I don't even really worry about the tournament until the day of the tournament. So I'm working hard. I believe in my coaches. I believe in the hard work that I put in up until that point, and then going in and leading into the competition, especially like I wake up the morning of or the day of, and immediately I'm centering myself. I'm not worried about my opponents. I'm going to take my best game, their best game, and we're going to see who's going to come out on top. And as long as I fight hard the whole time, give the very best effort I can, I'll always be able to live with that. And that's one of the things I really took away from my wrestling coach. He used to say that to me before every wrestling match, And I finally got to a point where I understood it. And so leading up into that point, I truly, honestly clear my mind, clear my body of all emotion at all. I really don't feel anything going in. I'm able to focus 100% on just what I'm doing, and I don't worry about, this guy plays like this or that guy does that. I worry only about myself. Now, don't get me wrong. I study my opponents. I'm going to be aware. I put the work in, but I'm not going to necessarily change up my game based on what they do. So I'm very, very centered. I get rid of all emotion. I'm not worried about who's watching me, what cameras are on me. I'm not worried about the expectations that people that I don't even know have on me. There was a time that I used to go and look and read on forums, and this person would be saying this thing about me, and this person would be saying this thing about me, and I just I don't even bother myself with that anymore. I'm only worried about myself, what I think about
bringing out the best, just Rader each time.
Exactly. I'm only worried about the effort I put out, and as long as I know as I gave it everything I had, I can walk off that mat with my head held high.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about who's there, who's watching me. I'm not worried about the expectations that maybe my family has for me, or that my friends or my coaches have for me. I'm not even worried about the person standing across from me, or what he's feeling. I know that I'm 100% centered, focused, and that I've had more success under that mindset than any other mindset I've ever had. And that's kind of how, the evolution, and it's kind of my story, the evolution of my, as far as mental game goes. I put the work in, and I put my cards on the table and let them fall where they may. And as long as I, given it everything I've got, then I'll always be able to live with that, no matter what the outcome.
Yeah, and in this last, when we were, this last No-Gi Worlds at 2011, when I was down in Cali with you guys, I kind of noticed that really when Master Lovato was talking after winning, he was speaking about, you guys grew up here in Oklahoma with no black belts around here, and had to basically learn yourselves and watch videos and get your hands on anything and travel. And with no black belts here, both of you have basically become the top American, if not the best American in your weight class, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts. I mean, how do you guys, it's why when I see other athletes talk about quitting or tired or fatigue or any of that, I simply think back at that time when we were getting some other guys ready and you guys were doing some conditioning, and you were talking about when you see somebody else suffering or when you see somebody else tired, it fuels you. And tell me a little bit about that mindset of how you and both Master Lovato just have what obviously other people don't have. It's just outwork everybody mentality.
Yeah, a big thing going back to that sort of mentality is I really took a lot of that from the years that I spent wrestling. That wrestling mindset. My coach, he always had me. We go off the mat, I'd be the first back in the middle. No matter what happens, I'm always running, I'm always pushing, I'm always going forward. And you can see you can see the results of that. And for so long I worked on that. Pushing people, breaking people, pushing them to that point. If I can push them to that point and I can make them show it, then you know that all I have to do is just keep moving forward, just keep pushing forward, and good things will happen.
Yeah.
So the term is often used as breaking people, that kind of thing. The more I see someone they go to their knees, or they're slow to get up, or slow back to the center of the mat if we go off the mat, you know, it's just ingrained inside of me. You know, I can see that's you know, a sign of weakness, and it takes over. I'm able to use that to my advantage, and feel me to just keep pushing forward no matter what kind of pain I'm in. I'm able to really pretty much push pain, like out of my mind. You know, when I go out there and I slap hands, I really don't, you know, like I said, I was talking earlier, I don't feel anything, even emotion-wise. That even goes into, you know, pain-wise a lot of times. My body might be tired or whatnot. I truly don't feel that until I walk off the mat. While I'm out there, you know, you know, especially if I see someone do that, my mind is just, oh my gosh, a little bit more, push him a little bit more. He's about to break. You know, good things are about to happen. Just stay fundamentally smart. And I have a couple things that I say to myself when the match, right before the match starts, before I walk out. There's some things my coach used to say to me. I keep everything sharp, solid, smart. I give nothing up, and I take everything given to me. Okay, meaning capitalizing on my opponent's mistakes. You know, and just keep pushing forward. I'm not worried about what he's doing. I'm worried only about what I'm doing. And as long as I stay fundamentally sound, and you know, I play the game, I play the strategy, and I push hard, I push forward, then you know, I'm not going. And another thing that he would always tell us in practice is, you know, you will never be outworked. You will never, you know, I work hard, I train hard, so I don't have to worry about that. But I will never be outworked. I will never be out of shape. Someone might be in just as good a shape as me, but they are not going. You know, I mean, we go off the mat, I'm the first back, and that's just a mindset. And you'll see people. You know, they might start that whole first half of the match. They might be matching you. They might be running right back to center with you. By the time that third period comes around, bam, you're running back and they're getting up slow. Well, then you know, just keep pushing. Just keep pushing forward.
That's what I mean, with having you guys and getting to know you guys, whenever I hear any athlete in any sport talking about being tired or being fatigued or, you know, just wanting to give up, I mean, I just urge them to come watch you guys train, because the intensity and the desire and passion you have, you know, in each session and what you're doing. But you know, tell everybody what you got coming up here in February.
In February, I'm going to go compete in New York City at the Ultimate Absolute grappling tournament. This is the second edition they're putting on. This one is for 155 pounds and below. The first one was a true absolute division, in which case all weight classes are combined. So this time around, he wanted more of the lighter weight fighters to have kind of their own tournament, so he capped it at 155 and below. And you know, there's really some top competition there. Some of the very best guys over the past 4 or 5 years in this sport are all going to be there. There's going to be a lot of interesting matchups, a lot of rematches.
Even one of the top 10 of all time ranked. I saw Cobrinha was ranked top 10. Yeah,
Rubens Cobrinha Charles will be there. We fought a couple of times now. He has come out the victor both times. You know, by really, really good close matches that were just, you know, wars. I recently fought him at the 2011 Noki Worlds, and I took the silver medal there. You know, after him. But the rules this time are a little bit different, and I'm really hoping to use those to my advantage, and I'm really looking forward to a lot of different matchups, but also a rematch with him as well in this tournament. You know, I really want, I'm really looking forward to another shot. It's always an honor to be invited to these kind of tournaments and to fight these kind of guys, because as Professor Raphael always says, you want to be at that top level, well, you have to fight the very best guys over and over and over again, and that's how you get there. And that I've always taken from him. I've taken that to heart. That's another one of those things that, you know, I often tell myself getting ready for tournaments is these are the kind of, you know, tournaments you want to be in, and I'm very honored and happy to have been one of the only 16 selected to be in this tournament. And so I'm really looking forward to a lot of different matchups. A rematch with him would be a dream come true for me.
Very cool. Now you have a Facebook fan page.
Yes.
And you're on Twitter as well.
Yep.
And what's your Twitter name?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at DarthRader86. You can follow me Facebook.com/DarthRader86. You know, those are my Facebook, Twitter pages.
And also like Lovato School.
Yeah, make sure to follow Lovato School Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Professor Rafael Lovato Jr. on his fan page and Twitter page as well, Lovato Jr. BJJ. And I'd also like to throw a shout out to my sponsors on the mat, Lucky Gi, 1914, Martial Arts Recovery, and Tyrese Training here at Oklahoma Strength.
All right, bud. Thank
Hey,
you.
thanks so much, Lou. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.